What's on the big board?
Woo! All right, the big board is brought to you by the College Corner Store, Trey Station in Ridgeland. It's a maroon out at Davis Wade Stadium in Starkville this weekend. We'll see if Hail State fans will come out and thank the seniors, although it hasn't been a good year. You've had a lot of guys contribute to a bunch of wins. And what will that look like Saturday night at Davis Wade Stadium? As it'll be A.J. Jefferson, Fred Ross, Jamal Claiborne, Devin Desper. Trying to think of some other. Oh, Richie Brown and some of the Nick James. Those are some of the seniors that will be playing their last game at Davis Wade Stadium against the Arkansas Razorbacks. It's basically a pick 'em. The Hogs were favored by about one and a hook. Now it's flipped over to Mississippi State.
2.5.
2.5. And can Fitzgerald and the crew run on the Hogs? And then with the Hogs, Riley Williams III and Austin Allen, how's that going to look against the Mississippi State defense? That's a 6 o'clock kick, right? Because Ole Miss kicks at 7 in Nashville. Do I have that right? Okay. And Ole Miss is a 10-point favorite over the Vanderbilt Commodores. That's right. 10-point favorite for the Ole Miss Shea Pattersons, who will be traveling to Nashville. I would think the Clarion Nashville is going to cover that game. So you should get the right headlines on Sunday because they'll be at their home office, so to speak. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. We welcome you in on a Thursday. It's game day as the New Orleans Saints will play the Carolina Panthers tonight. Man, do Breeze and the Saints need this one or what? It's a divisional game, guys, and the Falcons have not run away with it. And you would have to think that the Falcons could really, really barf on themselves here over the last 6 weeks of the season. And you play them the last game of the season, of the regular season, and you would like for that to be for the NFC South title, and you would like to win that and send Breeze and the team to the playoffs. Because once you get to the playoffs and you have a Drew Brees type quarterback, he's arguably the best or second best QB in the game. He and Brady, I think, are 1A.
Yeah.
And then Roethlisberger when he's healthy, and then from there, well, I think it gets a little difficult because Aaron Rodgers hasn't played like the Aaron Rodgers that we've expected. But I go Brady, Brees, and then a healthy Roethlisberger, the first three. There's some other really good players that play that position.
R-E-L-A-X. Relax.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. He's like I'm from Cali, dude. And
Yes, Cowboy.
yeah, he's California dude, Aaron Rodgers. Had to go to JUCO. Can you believe that? He came out of JUCO and then went to the Cal Bears, and then was a first-round draft pick by the Green Bay Packers. Okay, let's talk Drew Jackson, come in here. Barney, I think it's Farah.
I'm not
Barney
sure if it's
Farah.
Farah or Farrar.
Well, it looks like Farrar, but I'm pretty sure it's Farah. Barney Farah is an Ole Miss coach. He's quote unquote in-house, but they got an exemption for Dan Warner to not recruit and for Barney Farah to recruit the last 5 or so years.
I think that exemption was going to end after this year because it was, the way I understand it, was contingent on Dan Warner being a single dad, and I think he got married.
No kidding.
So I think that exemption was going to end. I don't know exactly when, but sometime around the end of the season, into the recruiting cycle.
Maybe in February?
Right.
And so he's placed on administrative leave. Where does that leave us with, first of all, you'd have to believe the program's even more nervous than they were before because you don't know what's going to happen. and Farah's placed on administrative leave. It's rare that you make it back from administrative leave. Barney, a lot of people thought that was when Laramie Tunzel mentioned, no.
The text.
When John Miller, they thought that may have been Miller because that's how it was written, that Miller mentioned Barney in the text with Tunzel, that they were allegedly referring to Barney Farah. And then some of the sites released it. The Clarion Nashville released it. And so it's on Clarion. They call it ClarionLedger.com. They haven't changed it, I guess, to Clarion Nashville yet. But what do you think? I would think that there are some people puckered up at this point.
Personally, I believe this is.
I'd be surprised if he comes back.
I would too.
Drew, what do you think?
Fair?
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't think he comes back.
Yeah.
I do believe this is domino numero uno.
And there's
I think there's a string.
There's several other coaches that were listed several dozen times in the notice of allocations and Ole Miss's response.
I believe there will be 4 coaching vacancies.
I think there will be more,
Next year.
but I don't think all of them will be with the NCAA. I think there will be
No, there will be
both
2
NCAA and
performance.
performance.
Dave Womack, do you
gone.
believe will be performance?
Yes.
I'm not sure
He'll
if
be
he's going to be gone.
reassigned. He's not part of the NCAA.
I'm not sure if he's
investigation.
going to get fired or not.
I'm not either, especially if they went out. I don't think Freeze will make.
Is almost winning out almost like a bad thing for the rest future of the program, because then Freeze will kind of have that momentum and not really make the changes that need to be made.
I think he's making the changes at DC.
I don't think he will.
Signing.
I think it'll give him another opportunity to keep everybody intact outside of the NCAA investigation. Now, Kiffin was named in the deal. Maurice, what's his name?
Harris.
Maurice Harris, and one other assistant coach, and I can't remember who it was. Was it Derek Nix? Yes, it was Derek Nix. And, of course, Hugh Freeze was named in it. So Barney Farah has stepped away on what is he, paid leave?
Yeah.
How long is he on paid leave?
That's a great question. That's a great. Is it all the way until you go in front of the Committee on Infractions? I mean, that could be 6 months.
I mean, it's a guess, but wouldn't it just be? I mean, is he on a? I don't know if he's on a 1 or 2 year contract or how that works.
Well, they can fire him with cause.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, he can fight it, but anybody can fight it this day and age. But they could have already fired him. They could have fired him the night after the draft. I mean, that happens. Angelo Mirando, even though he was on contract, he was fired over the Will Redmond stuff. Boom, end of discussion. I mean, Mississippi State removed him as soon as that thing went down, and they got the feedback from the NCAA. They did not put him on administrative leave. He was the wide receivers coach in the Will Redmond case. He was fired. They had every right. I mean, they did. Obviously you meet with your in-house counsel, and you do everything. You dot all the I's and cross all the T's. But they Mississippi State fired Angelo Mirando in August. 2 weeks before, I think 3 weeks before the first game, and he was their wide receivers coach. And that's why Tim Brewster was brought in for that brief stint of 5 months before taking the Florida State job as recruiting coordinator and tight ends coach for Jimbo Fisher. Yeah.
It's pretty strong.
I would think that at this point, those that have been saying there's nothing to it now are to the point where they're like,
They've come around.
maybe.
Well, I'd say a certain percentage of them who can step. Well, okay, I was going to say a certain percentage of those who can step back and look at it from an objective point of view, which I do realize is not a large portion because of the blinders. And then that's from each fan base. That's how they would treat their team. But they've got to be coming around, right?
I think some. I get it. Fandom and fanaticism is built on being blinded by the light.
Right. Your team can do no wrong.
There's a lot of similarities between being a parent and looking at your kids and having to really understand their weaknesses, and being a fan, and especially a big fan of your team.
Fabulous Swag Vegas on the Twitter feed said it's not because of Tunsil.
I know. I saw that. Well, I think there's a lot of people that believe that it's because of multiple prospects that he recruited. We'll see. Who knows? At this point, it's all nothing is concrete. What do you think, Drew? Multiple prospects?
Probably so.
Yeah.
Do you think it goes back to the immunity report that was released? What was that, August?
It very well could. Where they interviewed kids from several different schools. All right, that was the big board. We got the Saints tonight. Oh, we have Louisville and Houston tonight. Lamar Jackson will be on your TVs.
The biggest game of the
Greg Ward,
season in September.
That's right. Well,
now
Jackson's national champion Houston Cougars will be playing tonight with 2 losses against Louisville. And the big board was brought to you by the College Corner store. You can find all your maroon gear for this weekend, pullovers, jackets, caps, hats, scarves, stuff for tailgating, you name it. You can find it all at the College Corner store, Trace Station in Ridgeland. All your Hail State and Hotty Toddy gear. Straight ahead, the SEC Insider hit. And we may have, let me see. We may have Steve Robertson. If not, we'll have Steve at 7:45. We'll be back in just a second. Welcome in. It's game day.